yes.
Did you get a copy of the one?
Yes.
Just you can put my number down.
I'll take one for him. Thank you.
And Assistant State's Attorney Laura Keck. We are scheduled today for the return that our court reporter is reporting by Zoom, so make sure you stay seated and pull the microphones towards you so that you can be heard on the microphone by what you wish to do today.
Absolutely.
And then we would hear the motions after the courtroom would be closed. I will status review until after those motions are heard, but we will then close the courtroom, hear those motions, and after. And Ms. Schnock, you want your client arraigned today, is that right?
That's right, Your Honor.
No, sir. Are you taking any medication today or under the influence of any substance?
No, Your Honor.
There has been a 3-count bill of indictment which has been filed in your case. February 2023, you committed the offense of first-degree murder in that you, without lawful justification, with the intent to kill Rebecca Bliefnick, personally discharged a firearm that proximately caused the death of Rebecca Bliefnick in violation of Illinois law. Second count alleges that on or about the 23rd day of February 2023, you committed the offense of first-degree murder in that you, without lawful justification, with the intent to cause great bodily harm to Rebecca Bliefnick, personally discharged the firearm that proximately caused the death of Rebecca Bliefnick in violation of Illinois law. Possible penalties for both the first and second counts would be a sentence to the Department of Corrections because of the, that would be a 100% sentence, which means you'd have to serve 100% of any time that you were sentenced to in the Department of Corrections. A sentence to the Department of Corrections would be mandatory, and if you were given less than natural life, then you'd have to serve 3-year mandatory supervised release at the end of that sentence. You could also be ordered to pay restitution. Do you understand the possible penalties for counts 1 and 2?
Yes, Your Honor.
Count 3 alleges that on or about the 23rd day of February 2023, you committed the offense of home invasion in that you, not a peace officer acting in the line of duty, knowingly and without authority entered the dwelling of Rebecca Bliefnick, located at 2528 Kentucky Road, Quincy, Adams County, Illinois, knowing or having reason to know Rebecca Bliefnick to be present within that dwelling, and intentionally caused bodily harm to Rebecca Bliefnick in that you personally discharged the firearm that intentionally caused bodily harm to Rebecca, that approximately caused the death of Rebecca Bliefnick a person within that dwelling, all in violation of Illinois law. That, as alleged, is a Class X felony. Do you understand what your charge because of that firearm enhancement would be a sentence to the Department of Corrections of 31 years to natural life. You could also be ordered to pay restitution. Do you understand the possible penalties for that third count?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have certain constitutional rights. You have a right to an attorney. You have a right to a speedy public trial, either a jury trial or a bench trial if you waive your right to a jury trial. You are presumed to be innocent of the charges against you, and it's the prosecution who has the burden of proving you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You don't have to prove anything. You have a right to be present at all times. You have a right to remain silent. Whether you testify or not is your decision. You have a right to confront and cross-examine witnesses, and your attorney is available to help you cross-examine the state's witnesses. You have a right to present evidence. You have a right to plead guilty or not guilty. Do you understand your rights in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Not guilty, Ms. Schnock?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to prejudice the jury pool. I'm going to close the courtroom. We will hear those motions, and then we will allow the public back in, and I will tell you the results of those motion hearings. And the people who are allowed to stay are those who would have a personal interest in these proceedings, which generally means immediate family member and then court. All right, we are back on the record on 23 CF 170, People versus Timothy Bliefnick. The public has been on two different motions. The court has denied a motion to remove the prosecutor because of a suggestion of a conflict of interest. That has been denied. And then there was also a motion concerning access to evidence, which the court denied because it was evidence that was not in the possession of the state's attorney's office or law enforcement. So other avenues will be needed to provide that evidence. And then, Ms. Schnock, you wish to set this case for?
Right, Your Honor.
All right. And Mr. Jones, you want to call in because we have to try this within 90 days because he's held without bond, you want to call in a special jury, is that right?
That's what I'm asking the court to do. I don't think there's a legitimate way to get this tried within 90 days with our typical jury calendar. My suggestion to the court, anticipate it being in trial that entire week at this point. Also, Your Honor, I anticipate, and I've spoken to Ms. Schnock about this, I think both sides anticipate significant motions being filed and a significant amount of motion practice. I would ask the court to find a day in approximately 30 days for an all-day motion hearing, whatever motions that are filed, and then for a status in about 2 weeks to see where we are with the filings of those motions.
Ms. Schnock, does that work for you?
It does, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Bliefnick, your case is set for jury who presides over those trials. There will be a motion hearing. I have Friday, April 21st that's free,
That works here.
that we could do all day.
That works.
Judge, Ms. Keck and I have the recused consent.
Okay.
We'll make the 20th work, Your Honor. All day on the
Okay.
20th.
Mr. Bliefnick, then, all, and
Judge, what about April 12th in the afternoon at like 3:30? Or at 1:30?
the 12th is my usual, is at 11 o'clock. If we could do it at 11:30 just for a status.
That's fine, Your Honor.
The 12th at 11:30. Mr. Jones or Ms. Schnott?
Nothing from the people.
Nothing from us, Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.